good question, because no, we had no idea. We knew that the first Star Wars film had been very successful, which was wonderful. And I'm telling you, the people of my generation, that first Star Wars film was a revelation. It was so original and fantastic. So to be in the second was very nice, but we had no idea. We didn't think it would make more than 3 films, if that. Maybe the Empire would be the last. But as we see, and here we are, 35 years later, thousands of people all over the world. It's now appealed to 3 generations of people, not just our lot, then another lot, and now the children, as you see them here, little children who've seen Star Wars. I don't see why it should ever stop. Forever, Star Wars.
That's right.
Well, no, I had no idea. I mean, I worked on three different movies, like, Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. And I mean, all the way through Star Wars, I kept on thinking to myself, what a load of rubbish this is, like, because I mean, nothing was ever ready. The sets were never ready. I'm falling down most of the time. The footage they brought back from Tunisia wasn't all that good.
I only filmed it for 5 days, so I didn't have very many memories. I had one conversation with Darth Vader, of course, which was nice. The only thing of really real interest was, and this is a film story, you may remember, your viewers may remember, that I drive a big machine, a big fighting machine, looks like a giraffe. However, when we filmed it, I went into a studio and there was a big crane. You understand a crane? Yeah? With the platform on the top, which I climbed up to, and I sat down, and there was some machinery here. That's all there was. Nothing. Blue screen behind me. That's all there was. And I didn't know what that machine was until I saw the film. I had no idea. That's films.
Well, they were all bad memories. I didn't have many good memories actually about it, because it was, all 3 movies were hard work. And I thought Empire was the best of the 3. I liked Empire the best of the 3. But I had terrible problems on Jedi, because for some reason or other the director Richard Marquand decided to ignore me completely. So I had major problems there. He only ever spoke to me once, all the way through the movie. And that was only when I was trying to help him. I was trying to help him out of a sticky situation he got into. And George Lucas was very, very quiet, hardly ever spoke on Star Wars. Irving Kershner was much better on Empire. That was, for me, was the best of the the nicest of the 3 to work on. Oh, yes, things I've had, yes. The badges and the insignia and the memorable photographs. I keep those because it's purely economic. I know that they will be worth money. And my son, I'm keeping them for him, not for him to look at them, but for him to sell when I die. So he will have, it should be quite a lot of money. And talking of that, when my son was 8 years old, was the first one of these movies. And our next door neighbor was a producer on it. And he gave my son a complete set of all the models, all of them, in the first movie. Well, what would they be worth now? No value, you couldn't say. He played with them. And then when he was about 12, don't want these, do you? Oh no, I finished with those, out.
But I have another story about that.
You can finish.
In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, remember at the end I drink the wrong drink and my face. So they made a model of my face at about the age of 150. And it was horrible. And then they did other things after that. But I had this model, and at the end of the film they said, "Do you want this?" I said, "Yeah, take it home." And I took it home, and my wife went, "Oh, God." We put it in a cupboard. And one day she said, "I can't stand that thing in the house. I cannot bear this thing in the house. It's awful. Can't you get rid of it?" So I put it in the dustbin. When I was in Orlando 5 weeks ago for the 35th anniversary, I was offered $10,000 for it. Goodbye.
Can understand.
Not really. No. The one thing I have got, I've got the suit that I wore in Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Yeah, I've still got that. That's in the wardrobe. I can't get it on, but it's still in the wardrobe. But I was never one to try to steal things from the sets, and so I was really never in when I was doing Star Wars and Empire and Jedi. It took me 3 attempts to go and see him. Like each time I went, there was something wrong. He couldn't see me. And then eventually I turned around and said, "Well, look, I'll come and see you on a Sunday night," which I thought was that's bound not to be working on a Sunday night. So I went up, had a chat with him, and he said, "Well, look, I'd like to offer you this part of Julian, who's the bodyguard to the writer." Like, I mean, little did I know at the time that I was going to be carrying Malcolm McDowell up and down the stairs, and then Patrick McGee up and down the stairs in his wheelchair. I didn't realise I was letting myself in for all that long. But I thoroughly enjoyed working with Stanley Cooper. He was very, very nice to me, and I think the difference was if with Stanley, if you stood up to him, he respected you for it. But if you were frightened of him, which most of the actors and actresses were, he used to drive him into the ground. Like, he used to capitalise on it. Yeah. Very strange.
I love playing them. They're always the best parts. Yeah. The only trouble with being bad Les Méchants is that you never get to do the sequel because you're always... I love it. My very first film was a very famous film in England called Tom Jones, which is now a big classical film. A wonderful, wonderful film. And that was my first film, and that was my first baddie, my first méchant. Before that, I used to play in the theatre, happy, nice people. And then I went, and ever since then, I played baddies. But I like playing them.